Chapter 21 The Douluo version of the Male and the Little Fairy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the main dais, Ningfengji addressed Yu Longchen respectfully. Senior Yu, what are your thoughts on all this? That Yu Longchen slapped the armrest, his voice booming with authority. What's to think? Let the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect's talented youngsters show the world what they're made of with their fists. Yu Yuanchen turned to Tang Xiao beside him. Xiao, any word from Tang Hao? Tang Xiao replied respectfully, Senior Yu, no sign of Brother Hao since the incident 6 years ago. Damn, that kid's got a weird taste. If Tang Hao were here today, his talent would probably have him on the verge of becoming a titled Douluo. He'd be the youngest titled Douluo on the continent. I'd love to see the look on Qianxunji's face then. Yu Yuanchen sighed. It wasn't about sucking up to the Haotian sect, he just wanted Tang Hao to come and smack Qianxunji down a peg. The Spirit Hall was always bragging about Qianxunji, saying he was a 50-year-old titled Douluo, a prodigy, a once-in-a-thousand-years talent. In the crowd, Feng Xiaotian, with his white hair and wide purple eyes, scanned the powerful figures of the Soul Master world. Spotting the cute girl beside the blazing academy dean, his eyes lit up. He marched over, hand extended. Hey there, I'm Feng Xiaotian. What's your name? Blazing Fire Academy and Shenfeng Academy were practically sister schools, deeply intertwined. In the original story, Feng Xiaotian visited Blazing Fire Academy, met Huo Wu, and it was love at first sight. But Qian Renhan's unexpected entry changed things. Huo Wu, though yet to awaken her martial spirit, had already developed a spoiled young lady temperament, given her grandfather's position as Dean Qihua, her father's future role as dean, and her older brother's doting. She completely ignored Feng Xiaotian, turning her gaze away. Xiaotian, you can't just bother people here. Dean Shenfeng yanked Feng Xiaotian back, apologizing to Dean Qihua. Hua, sorry about that. Xiaotian's used to acting up at home. Dean Qihua chuckled. No worries, Feng. I heard your Xiaotian awakened the top-tier mutant spirit, the wind two-headed wolf, and has innate full soul power, a once-in-a-century occurrence. He might become the first titled Douluo in the Feng family. You might even get a chance to become a titled Douluo as his mentor. Nah, the kid's got a long way to go, Dean Shenfeng said modestly. The two were genuine friends, there were no hidden agendas in their conversation. Suddenly, everyone's expressions changed, heads turning towards the horizon. 5 figures sped towards them, arriving in just a few breaths. His Holiness the Pope has arrived, Snake Spear and Dolphin announced in unison, their voices amplified by soul power, echoing throughout Thunder Canyon. Greetings, Your Holiness the Pope, a chorus of voices filled the stands. Yu Longchen, Ningfengji, Qianxian, and Tang Xiao also rose to show respect. Regardless of their inner thoughts, the Pope was, outwardly, the leader of the Soul Master world, on par with the emperors of the 2 empires. The 5 landed, and Yu Longchen stepped forward, beaming. The Pope honors the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect with his presence. These must be your children, truly gifted individuals. Please, have a seat. Senior Longchen remains as spirited as ever. This junior can't presume to take that seat. You should sit, Qianxunji replied politely. Wow, brother, is that person with the white hair a boy or a girl? Their skin is as white as milk. Mine doesn't even come close, Huo Wu said to Huo Wushuang. Qian Renhan's skin was pale white, while Huo Wu's was a reflective, snowy white. And Qianrenxue, with the plasticizing effect of the fallen angel martial spirit, definitely looked like a girl. I have no idea. Huo Wushuang shook his head. Feng Xiaotian interrupted, his tone certain. Male, definitely male. The keen senses of my gale-wind two-headed wolf spirit can distinguish male and female sense. Mind your business, Huo Wu said, annoyed. Why did he have to butt in? Couldn't he tell she wasn't interested? Normally, Feng Xiaotian would have continued to try to charm her, but not this time. He had a new target, fixating on Qianrenxue. Qianrenxue was roughly the same age as Huo Wu, but her temperament and cuteness were in another league entirely. Wu glanced at Qianrenxue, then at Feng Xiaotian, feeling a strange sense of dissatisfaction. Finally, Yu Longchen and Qianxunji sat at the head table, while Ningfengji, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao sat to the side. "Let's go, Xiaoxue." Qian Renhan led Qianrenxue towards the stands, Snake Spear and Agatha Douluo following closely behind. The auditorium grew noticeably tense with their arrival, people instinctively creating a wide berth. As they walked, Yu Longchen and Sword Douluo exchanged guarded glances, their eyes lingering on Snake Spear Douluo. One was level 92, the other level 93. When did the Spirit Hall get 2 new title Douluo, especially Qianxunji? When did he break through to level 95 Super Douluo realm? In the crowd, Qianrenxue said, sounding slightly irritated, "Brother, someone behind me keeps staring." "Don't worry about it. Get used to it," Qian Renhan replied calmly, not looking back. What was he supposed to do when Qianrenxue had such an attractive face? Chapter 22 The Secret of Angels Martial Spirit Revealed. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Yu Longchen's booming voice filled the arena. This clash between the younger generation is a rare treat for the Soul Master world. We have the Pope's own child facing off against the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect's promising disciples. And, of course, he added, we'd be happy to see anyone else step up and showcase their family's rising stars. What do you think, Your Holiness? Yu Longchen turned to Qianxunji. Qianxunji smiled smoothly. A little friendly competition. Everyone's welcome to join. Qian Renhan grinned. Go on, Xiaoxue, show them what you've got. All right, brother, Qianrenxue replied, nodding and stepping into the ring. Meanwhile, Yu Longchen, head of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, wasn't aware that angel martial souls naturally started with a huge advantage in soul power. He was about to call up one of his own freshly ringed soul masters when a figure darted ahead. Feng Xiaotian, Dean Kamikaze was horrified. He shot to his feet, bowing hastily towards Yu Longchen and Qianxunji. Your Majesty Thunder, Your Holiness, my grandson's just being a rambunctious kid. I'll get him right back here. But before Dean Kamikaze could move, Yu Longchen waved him off, chuckling. It's fine, Dean. I said anyone was welcome. Let the boy have his fun. Dean Kamikaze visibly relaxed, sinking back into his seat. Next to powerhouses like the Spirit Hall and the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, Kamikaze Academy and the Feng family were insignificant. In the ring, the two combatants prepared to face off. Feng Xiaotian grinned at Qianrenxue. Feng Xiaotian, from Elemental City's Feng family. My martial soul is the Gale Two-Headed Wolf, and I'm a level 13 attack-type soul master. A fierce wolf howl echoed, and a gleaming century-old soul ring materialized around Feng Xiaotian. He dropped to all fours, and a spectral wolf head sprouted from his neck. Qianrenxue simply stated, Spirit Hall, Qian family. Qianrenxue. My martial soul is the Seraphim, and I'm a level 19 attack-type soul master. The word level 19 sent shockwaves through Feng Xiaotian and the entire audience. It didn't make sense. It was impossible. Considering her age, Qianrenxue should have only just awakened her martial soul. How could she already be at level 19? Yellow and purple soul rings swirled around Qianrenxue's feet. Her hair transformed into radiant gold, and the seraphim appeared behind her, now wreathed in a faint, fiery glow. A soul ring nearly 1,000 years old. How is this even possible? The audience reeled in disbelief. Ningfengji, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao exchanged bewildered glances. Yu Longchen composed himself, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. His grandson, Yu Xiaoan, had once worked in the Spirit Hall's library and learned some secret information from the Saint of Spirit Hall, including the existence of the Seraphim martial soul and its innate level 20 soul power. At the time, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect scoffed, dismissing it as impossible. But now, seeing Qianrenxue's nearly 1,000-year-old first soul ring and level 19 soul power, Yu Longchen started to believe his grandson's information was correct. Although, Yu Xiaoan might have been exaggerating. After all, everyone knew about his unique talents, even with a seraphim martial soul, and even with intensive training from birth, reaching level 19 at the age of 6 and absorbing a ring that age should be impossible. Unless the innate soul power exceeded the normal capacity, Yu Longchen smiled, and spoke aloud, "Your Holiness, I once heard a rumor that the seraphim, as the continent's most powerful martial soul, has innate soul power that starts above level 10. Is this true?" His words immediately drew everyone's attention, their eyes wide. Their first instinct was disbelief, but then they realized it was the only explanation for Qianrenxue's accomplishments. Qianxunji's eyes narrowed slightly, and he smiled with a practiced ease. "Yes, it's true. The seraphim is a martial soul blessed by the angel god himself. It's a true god-level martial soul, and its innate soul power begins at level 10. Qianxunji was well aware that Bibi Dong had enlisted Yu Xiaoan to swipe a trove of forbidden Qian family secrets. He also knew that the seraphim's innate soul power could reach level 20. Yu Longchen's question implied that he was onto the secrets Yu Xiaoan had pilfered. Rather than let these cunning old foxes pick apart the seraphim's mysteries, it was better to confess and invoke faith in the ancestor of the gods. Why not do it? Qianxunji's confirmation sent another wave of shock through the crowd. God-level martial souls started at level 10. Did that mean the upper limit was level 20? And the angel god? Everyone knew of the legends of the angel gods, but they didn't expect them to actually exist. Yu Longchen, Ningfengji, and Qianxian subtly exchanged glances. They all knew that their strategy for dealing with the spirit hall needed a serious re-evaluation. The existence of a god-level entity completely changed the game. Tang Xiao was also uneasy. After his ancestor Tang Chen's disappearance, the elders regarded the spirit hall as a viper's nest, forbidding any provocation. Haotian sect disciples had followed this rule for years, with the exception of Tang Hao. Brother Hao, where are you? Please, you've got to be hiding with your third sister. Tang Xiao thought. After regaining his composure, Yu Longchen cast a carefully measured glance at Qianxunji. His eyes were not as fearful as before. Since the seraphim started at level 10 innately, Qianxunji must have filled in the last 10 levels to become a titled Douluo at the age of 50. That was only 3 years of effort after hitting the innate cap. Without the 10th level, Qianxunji should have been around 53 years old when he truly broke through to the title Douluo. His talent was about the same as Tang Xiao, not that great. Immediately afterwards, Yu Longchen looked at Qianrenxue on the stage and Qian Renhan in the audience. He had absorbed a 900-year-old soul ring to reach level 19. In this way, Qianrenxue's talent should be the same as Qian Renhan's. Xuanji is not much different, but I don't know how much innate soul power the white-haired one has, but he should be stronger than Qianrenxue. It is natural that the strong one will appear later. Ningfengji, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao's eyes flickered, and they had the same thought in their minds. Tang Xiao secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he brought Tang Hu and Tang Long, the outstanding disciples of the sects generation, to see the world. If he really let the disciples of the Haotian sect who had just broken through as a soul master appear, he would not be asking for abuse. Yu Longchen didn't have such worries. This was the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, and there were disciples of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon's martial soul ranging from soul warriors to title Douluo. Qianxunji narrowed his eyes slightly. After returning, he had to warn Yu Xiaoan again. If Yu Xiaoan secretly revealed the matter of the angel costume, he really didn't know whether to ignore Bibi Dong and slap him to death. Chapter 23 Qian Renhan comes on stage. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. In the ring, Feng Xiaotian, oblivious to the crowd's chatter, exclaimed, "Qianrenxue, what a cool name. We're the same age, but you're way stronger than me. I thought I was something special, but compared to you, I'm nothing. Of course you can't compare to me. I'm a Qianren, from the Spirit Hall." A hint of pride crept into Qianrenxue's otherwise cool tone. Despite her attempts at composure, she was still just a little kid at heart, and she liked hearing praise. "Now that you see how much stronger I am, are you gonna quit?" Qianrenxue asked. Feng Xiaotian shook his head, serious. No way. But watch out. First spirit skill, Wind Blade Barrage. His first spirit ring lit up, and he quickly slashed his hands 4 times, unleashing 4 sharp wind blades. First spirit skill, Angel Strike. Qianrenxue's first spirit ring flared. Angelic energy gathered in her right fist, forming a golden shield. The shield clashed with the wind blades, sparks flying. The angelic energy surged through the shield, melting and purifying the wind blades. Taking advantage of her superior power, Qianrenxue charged, shield raised, and punched Feng Xiaotian in the gut. His eyes went wide, and he flew out of the ring, hitting the ground hard, unable to get up. Feng Xiaotian. Dean Kamikaze leaped forward, catching Feng Xiaotian. The angel's energy had penetrated his body, dissolving his own spirit power. He was completely wiped out. As Qianrenxue's first spirit ring cooled down, Yu Longchen said calmly, Tianyuan, you're up. Yes, master. A boy of about 9 stepped forward, his spirit power at level 19, Yu Tianxin and Yu Tianhan, the future stars of the Yu family, hadn't even awakened their spirits yet. Yu Tianyuan was considered a real prospect, someone who might even become a Contra someday. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, Yu Tianyuan, Spirit, Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, level 19 attack type Spirit Master. A brilliant blue light exploded from Yu Tianyuan's forehead. It spread instantly, bathing his entire body. Ribbons of blue-purple electricity crackled around him like living snakes. Then his right arm changed. His sleeve disintegrated as his arm swelled, growing significantly longer and thicker, covered in blue-purple scales. His hand became a claw, equally scaled and bulky. The blue-purple electricity pulsed and flowed along his arm. Instead of orbiting his entire body like other spirit masters, his spirit rings, 1 yellow and 1 purple, circled his transformed arm. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon was widely considered the best beast spirit. Its defining trait was that every 10 levels, a new part of the body would evolve into a dragon feature. At level 70, it could fully transform into a dragon, sprout wings, and fly, unleashing the true power of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, at which point the spirit rings would orbit the body normally. Qianrenxue's expression turned serious, and she took a fighting stance. They locked eyes, then lunged forward. Golden flames and blue-purple lightning erupted on the ring, their fists and claws collided in a storm of sparks and thunder. Dust swirled as their power clashed. After a brief standoff, the tide turned. Qianrenxue's raw power began to overwhelm Yu Tianyuan. He was forced to retreat, his spirit power constantly eroded by the invading angelic energy. Yu Longchen frowned. Even with Qianrenxue's spirit rings, Yu Tianyuan shouldn't be getting dominated this badly. She was outclassing him in strength, speed, everything. Qianxunji's eyes gleamed with delight. Seraphim possessed the ability to evolve. They would evolve every 30 levels. When they reached level 30, they would awaken the angelic domain. Qianrenxue, with just a fraction of the angelic spirit's power, was effortlessly crushing Yu Longchen, really embarrassing him, but Qianxunji failed to notice that Qianrenhan's gaze had turned icy as he watched Qianrenxue fight. The 6-winged seraph, strengthened with the immortal grass, was struggling against a Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Spirit Master of the same level. Failing to use the angelic spirit's speed, resorting to a head-on brawl, pathetic, however, Qianrenhan gleaned something from Qianrenxue's fight. Because her first spirit skill, Angel Strike, was formed by absorbing the spirit rings of light-type spirit beasts, her shield only contained light attribute spirit power. What a waste of the ultimate fire's potential. Suddenly, Yu Tianyuan leaped back, his body launching high. His first spirit ring flared. First spirit skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Dozens of purple-blue thunder snakes converged on Yu Tianyuan's dragon claw. The thunder completely enveloped his claw, transforming into a claw of pure lightning, leaving trails of crackling energy in its wake. Angel Strike. Qianrenxue's first spirit ring flared again. She gathered brilliant energy into a shield in her right hand and punched forward, the thunder dragon claw slammed into the angel strike. Qianrenxue stumbled back a few steps, panting. 2 consecutive uses of her first spirit skill had drained her. Yu Tianyuan, however, was sent flying, just like Feng Xiaotian. His spirit power was depleted, and he couldn't continue. 2 wins in a row. Xiaoxue, you're a credit to me, Qianxunji said, smiling. He glanced at the glowering Yulongchen. Senior Longchen, don't be discouraged. Tianyuan gave it his all. Yulongchen glared at Qianxunji, then raised his voice loud enough for it to carry to the ring. Your spirit hall saint is indeed impressive. Since the saint is still standing, are you planning to continue? Qianxunji looked at Qianrenxue, who nodded. Just as he was about to urge Yulongchen to send another challenger, an emotionless voice cut through the air. Xiaoxue, come down. Everyone turned toward the stands. Qian Renhan had stood up, his face unreadable, as if he intended to intervene. Qianrenxue, sensing the shift in Qian Renhan's demeanor, stammered, brother, I can still fight. Come down. Qian Renhan's tone was cold, almost devoid of emotion. Anyone who knew him knew this was a sign he was about to lose his temper, and the only person present who truly understood him was Qianrenxue. Understood, brother. Qianrenxue lowered her head and walked down with slumped shoulders. She couldn't understand why her brother was upset when she had clearly won decisively. Chapter 24 Instant Kill. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. When they were about to face off, Qian Renhan ignored Qianrenxue's sulky expression and said calmly, watch what I do next. Qianrenxue was taken aback, then nodded slightly. Got it, big brother. Go get, big brother. Yulongchen sized Qian Renhan up, unable to get a read on him. Angel martial souls were notoriously good at concealing their soul power. They already knew Qianxunji had deliberately revealed his soul power when he flew over. But seeing how Qianrenxue acted like an obedient little sister in front of Qian Renhan made it clear there was a huge power difference between the two. Tian Shuang, you're up. Yulongchen sent out a direct disciple of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, who had just become a great soul master. In the arena, Qian Renhan and Yu Tianshuang locked eyes. Neither of them was as polite as that socially awkward Feng Xiaotian. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, Yu Tianshuang. Martial Soul, Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon. Level 21, Powerful Attack Type Spirit Master. 2 yellow soul rings appeared beneath Yu Tianshuang's feet. It was the same scene as when Yu Tianyuan released his martial soul. The difference was that Yu Tianshuang had a pair of dragon horns on his forehead, a result of his soul power breakthrough. At level 30, when they transform further into dragons, they'll get dragon tails and vertical pupils. Qian Renhan didn't introduce himself. The soul tool in his hand lit up, and a long sword appeared, the same open-edged sword he trained with daily and used to kill his first soul beast. Only those who can force me to use my martial soul deserve to know my name. Qian Renhan's cold voice echoed throughout the audience, and the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan disciples glared at him. It was basic courtesy for a spirit master to announce their name in battle. Qian Renhan's actions clearly showed he looked down on Yu Tianshuang's strength. What insolence! Pope, your son has some manners, Yulongchen said, clenching his fist and glaring at Qianxunji. Qianxunji chuckled. Senior Longchen, calm down. He's always been like this. Humph, Yulongchen wasn't buying it. He said coldly, Tian Shuang, if you defeat this boy, I'll let you choose your third and fourth soul beast in Thunder Canyon. Hearing this, Yu Tianshuang's adrenaline surged, and he got fired up. The direct disciples of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan looked on with envy. The reason the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan was located in Thunder Canyon was because the environment was perfect for training their Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon spirit masters. The soul beasts raised in Thunder Canyon were the best match for their attributes. Ordinary direct disciples only got the first and second soul rings from there. Only the direct disciples being groomed as the next family heir got the third and fourth, greatly improving their future potential and strength. I don't know your name, but you'll pay for your arrogance. Yu Qianxuang said coldly. His first soul ring lit up, and blue-purple lightning gathered on his right paw as he charged towards Qian Renhan. Since the first and second soul rings were from soul beasts raised by the Blue Lightning King Dragon clan in Thunder Canyon, the spirit rings of the direct disciples were the same. Thunder Dragon Claw, not just as Yu Qianxuang's right arm was half a meter from Qian Renhan suddenly moved, swinging his sword with his left hand towards the dragon claw. Yu Qianxuang smirked. He thought, so, he was just a fool who likes to show off. He wants to use a sword to block my Thunder Dragon Claw. Does he think that sword is some kind of magical weapon? No, it's a feint, Yu Longchen, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao all yelled, eyes wide. Qian Renhan did swing the sword, but after it left his hand, the hilt dangled in the air. Yu Longchen was distracted by Qian Renhan's right hand reaching out. He saw the sword fly from Qian Renhan's left hand to his right and realized it was a trap, but it was too late to retreat. With a crisp bang, Qian Renhan held the long sword in his right hand, twisting to avoid Yu Qianxuang's Thunder Dragon Claw, and slashed at Yu Qianxuang's waist. With one strike, their bodies were briefly side by side. Next, Qian Renhan said indifferently, without turning around, and shook the blood off the longsword. Behind him, Yu Qianxuang had a clear, bloody wound on his right waist. Blood spurted out. He released his martial soul and knelt on the ground, clutching the wound in pain. After level 30, with each breakthrough, a blue lightning tyrant dragon's body will turn more draconic and covered by hard scales. But before they're covered, those limbs are extremely fragile and can be easily cut open with a sword, Qian Renhan said calmly, describing the weaknesses of the blue lightning tyrant dragon spirit. Then, looking at Yu Longchen, who was now furious, he said, don't just stand there. Get a healing spirit master to treat him. I didn't hit his kidneys or intestines, but it's not my fault if he bleeds out. What are you all staring at? Get him back for treatment. Are you stupid? Yu Longchen yelled at the outer disciples, who were dumbfounded by this fatal weakness of the blue lightning tyrant dragon spirit. The outer disciples reacted, quickly grabbing a stretcher and carrying Yu Qianxuang off the stage. Chapter 25 The Terror of Fallen Angels. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qian Renhan glanced at Yu Qianxuang, who was lying on a stretcher nursing his wound. Had this been a real fight, not just a competition, his sword wouldn't have just grazed Yu Qianxuang's waist, it would have sliced him in two. Then, Qian Renhan looked at Qianrenxue in the audience, her eyes wide with surprise, as if asking, did you see that? He wanted to show her that battles between soul masters aren't just about brute force. He couldn't beat a Qianrenxue using her full strength without relying on martial arts. While it would take Qianrenxue some time to defeat Yu Tianyuan at full power, Qian Renhan could take down the stronger Yu Qianxuang with a single well-placed strike. Next up, anyone else from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect? Qian Renhan scanned their ranks with an indifferent gaze. Tianyuan, you're up. Yu Longchen's forehead veins bulged, clearly struggling to contain his rage. Go get him, Tianyuan. Kick his butt, Tianyuan. That the younger members of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect cheered on Yu Tianyuan, including Yu Tianheng and Yu Tianxin, who hadn't awakened their martial souls yet. No one mentioned Tian Yuendi or volunteered to go next, implying that Yu Tianyuan was the strongest of the current generation. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sects Yu Tianyuan, martial soul, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus, a level 28 Great Attack Spirit Master. Yu Tianyuan announced, completing his martial soul transformation. Please, show me what you've got. Let's go. Qian Renhan pointed his sword at Yu Tianyuan, his expression still detached. Yu Tianyuan frowned, lowered his stance, and charged forward, keeping his center of gravity low to avoid repeating Yu Qianxuang's mistake. Yu Tianyuan's dragon claw clashed with the long sword. Qian Renhan retreated, his shoes scraping against the ring's surface. Blue-purple lightning followed the blade, coursing into Qian Renhan's body. Yu Tianyuan smirked. Your sword conducts electricity. You call that a shock? Qian Renhan redirected Yu Tianyuan's force with his sword, stepped back, and lunged, aiming for Yu Tianyuan's chest, using his reach to his advantage. Sword met dragon claw again. Qian Renhan fought while retreating, using his superior reach to keep Yu Tianyuan at bay. But Yu Tianyuan's defense was solid. He couldn't break through the dragon claw with his sword, nor could he even damage the scales on Yu Tianyuan's right arm. The tip of the sword pinged against the scales, ding, ding, ding. Impressive swordsmanship. Sword Douluo, observing Qian Renhan's movements, couldn't help but praise him. With his sharp eyes, he could tell that Qian Renhan had reached the first stage of swordsmanship, the pinnacle of man-sword unity. Had Qian Renhan not been from the Qian family, he would have immediately tried to take him as a disciple, even if it meant snatching him from the Seven Treasures glazed tile school. Yu Tianyuan saw an opening. He grabbed the sword tightly with his dragon claw and swung his left fist. Qian Renhan caught Yu Tianyuan's fist, and the two were locked in a standoff. "Aren't you going to use your martial soul?" Yu Tianyuan asked calmly. His soul power was being suppressed, but with his martial soul active, his strength far surpassed Qian Renhan's. He could easily push Qian Renhan out of the ring with sheer force. "If you insist." Qian Renhan's eyes glowed red, a purple soul ring appeared, and a dark, cold, and evil black soul power erupted from him. Behind him, an 8-winged angel with a dark body materialized. Martial Spirit Hall, Qian Renhan, Martial Spirit, 8-winged Fallen Angel, Level 20 Attack System Spirit Master. That martial soul, that the audience gasped in surprise. It was a mutated seraph martial spirit. But more than that, the fallen angels seemed to stir up buried evil thoughts in their hearts, including Ningfengji, Yu Longchen, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao. Only their strong wills allowed them to suppress it. Xue Xing, weaker than a soul sect master and burdened with the most evil thoughts, felt an overwhelming urge to find a woman. While seraphs can dispel evil and unconsciously calm people, the fallen angel spirit ignites the darkness within, driving people toward madness and even enslaving them to its beliefs. It was the polar opposite of the seraphim, a legendary ancestral martial soul of evil soul masters. "Go ahead." Qian Renhan looked at the slightly stunned Yu Tianyuan indifferently. "Or are you too scared?" "Scared? Hardly." The first soul ring around Yu Tianyuan lit up. First soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. A dragon claw mark formed of thunder and lightning struck. Qian Renhan simply raised his hand, and the soul power around him coalesced into a long sword, which he used to slash at the Thunder Dragon Claw. "He's condensing soul power into a blade?" "I didn't expect Xiaoan to learn that so quickly," Qianxunji murmured in surprise. The long sword collided with the Thunder Dragon Claw, splitting it in two. But it wasn't the sword's sharpness that did the trick. It was the intensely dark soul power emanating from the blade, which completely devoured the soul power of the Thunder Dragon Claw wherever it touched, feeding it back into Qian Renhan's body. Martial souls are ranked as useless, low level, intermediate, high level, top grade, top level, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex, Super, Golden Crocodile King, God level, Seraphim, Super God level, 8-winged Fallen Angel, Quasi-God level, and God King level, 10 wings to 12 wings, Qian Renhan's ultimate dark attribute, enhanced by the fairy grass, had reached the level of 10 wings. It was 3 levels higher than the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Spirit's thunder and lightning. It was impossible to block his absorption, it was a complete mismatch in power. "Anything else?" Qian Renhan asked calmly. Yu Tianyuan gritted his teeth, and the second soul ring lit up. Second soul skill, Thunderous. Countless lightning snakes writhed around his body, amplifying in power before transforming into a storm of lightning arrows that shot out in all directions, all targeting Qian Renhan. Facing the onslaught of thunder spears, Qian Renhan didn't flinch. He didn't even bother to move. The lightning arrows struck Qian Renhan, causing a violent explosion that shook the entire arena. "Big brother." "Young master." Qianrenxue, Snake Spear, and Guillotine all shot to their feet, unsure why Qian Renhan hadn't dodged or even defended himself. Even Yu Tianyuan, panting for breath, was stunned, staring wide-eyed at the cloud of smoke obscuring Qian Renhan. Is that your strongest attack? Qian Renhan's voice, clear and calm, echoed from the smoke. When he stepped out, everyone, even the top experts in the audience, was stunned. Qian Renhan had taken the full force of the thunderous attack head-on. Aside from his hair being slightly disheveled, he showed no injuries whatsoever. His clothes weren't even singed. Chapter 26 Chaos Cloak Hammering Technique. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. At the moment a barrage of lightning bolts struck Qian Renhan, he covered himself in soul power, forming a protective barrier. A focused attack like the Thunder Dragon Claw might have overwhelmed his defenses faster than his FallenAngels' devouring ability. But the scattered lightning arrows were converted into pure soul power and absorbed before they could breach the barrier. No way. Thunderbolt is my strongest move. Tianyuan exclaimed, in disbelief that his best shot had done no damage. You're done, Qian Renhan said as he backhanded Tianyuan, sending him flying out of the ring. Next. Having defeated 2 opponents in a row, Qian Renhan's voice remained calm, devoid of emotion. He showed no joy at beating the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family's top prospect, as if that's how things were supposed to be. Yulongchen's face was grim. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family's strongest descendant had lost. Would they have to resort to using older fighters? Even if those fighters were 3 times stronger than Qian Renhan, win would be a disgrace to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect. Just then, Tang Xiao said, Senior Longchen, Your Majesty the Pope, your young master's talent is undeniable. Opponents at his level are hard to come by. My Haotian sect also has a few younger disciples who would like to spar with him. I've already said anyone from the younger generation is welcome to fight. Your sect's disciples are naturally welcome, Qianxunji replied with a faint smile, then turned to Tang Xiao and sent a telepathic message. Tang Xiao, have you heard anything about Tang Hao and the 100,000-year soul beast? Tang Xiao visibly trembled and replied, also telepathically, Your Majesty the Pope, Brother Hao has been missing for years. I have no news. Qianxunji narrowed his eyes slightly and said calmly, I hope you're not lying. 100,000-year soul beast disguised as a human, who knows what her motives are? If she intends to gather intel on the Soul Master world, a beast tide could easily be triggered through the Soul Beast clan, resulting in a catastrophe. I understand, Your Majesty. The Haotian sect will do everything possible to find news of Hao Di and Ayin. Tang Xiao's surface response masked his internal disdain. He didn't buy the idea that Ayin was a spy for the Soul Beast clan. He'd spent 3 years with her. Ayin was a kind-hearted person, healing the injured, whether common folk or spirit beasts. She had no intention of harming humanity. To claim she was a spy was a ridiculous justification to get her soul ring and soul bone. In the ring, a sturdy boy of about 10 or 11, muscular and half again as tall as Qian Renhan, walked forward. He had bronze skin, an ordinary face, and piercing eyes. Haotian sect, Tang Hu. Martial soul, clear sky hammer. Level 29 Great Spirit Master, specialized in attack. 2 yellow soul rings appeared at Tang Hu's feet. A thick, domineering black soul power surged into his right hand, forming a black hammer the size of a bucket, crackling with thunder. Qian Renhan narrowed his eyes. The clear sky hammer was the world's top martial soul, capable of restraining all weapon-type martial souls. But it's just a hammer. How can that restrain every weapon on the continent? He wondered. Tang Hu hefted the clear sky hammer, planted his feet, tilted his body, and swung the hammer at Qian Renhan's waist. He appeared to be trying to copy Qian Renhan's previous strike, instantly defeating Jade Tianyuan. The best martial spirit in the world, huh? Let's see what you've got. Qian Renhan could only imagine the hammer's destructive force. Facing such a blow, he wasn't stupid enough to try to block it. He planted his sword in the ground with his left hand, and flipped backwards. The sword moved up along his arm as he pulled it from the ground, putting distance between himself and the attack. Clang, star, the black sword made of soul power shattered with a ringing sound. Qian Renhan's left hand was shaken numb and almost swung out from the impact of the clear sky hammer. Tang Xiao smiled slightly, relieved. Qian Renhan's sword was destroyed, depriving him of his attack method. The advantage had shifted. Even if the fallen angel could absorb soul power, the Haotian hammer had no soul power for him to absorb. The soul skills merely amplified the clear sky hammer's destructive power. One direct hit could tear him apart. That's some power, Qian Renhan said, shaking his left hand as he landed back on the ring, about 10 feet from Tang Hu, at a safe distance. Tang Hu grinned and pointed at Qian Renhan. Facing a member of the angel clan from the spirit hall, the Tang family of the Haotian sect felt a surge of pride, the pride of crushing the descendants of angels, because their ancestor Tang Chen had fairly defeated Qian Douluo, the spirit hall's high priest. Fallen angel or not, Tang Hu was confident he could win. Tang Hu took a stance, swinging the clear sky hammer with both hands. The black light around the hammer grew darker and thicker with each swing, and the resulting air currents grew more intense. Chaotic cloak hammering technique. Some powerful soul masters in the audience recognized the Haotian sect signature, self-created technique. The chaotic cloak hammering technique could add the force of each swing to the next. At its peak, it could stack the power of 81 swings. When the 81 swing chaotic cloak Haotian hammer was unleashed, the resulting force was catastrophic. "We can't let him keep stacking," Qianrenxue shouted from the audience. Everyone in the spirit hall feared this hammer technique. When faced with it, most people tried to interrupt it before it could reach full power. Tang Xiao coughed. "Your Majesty the Pope, has your palace saint violated the rules?" Qianxunji looked annoyed and said, "Xiaoxue, don't interfere." Seeing Qianxunji frustrated, Yu Longchen, Ningfengji, and Qianxian exchanged pleased glances. Qian Renhan's instant win over Yu Tianyuan and Wu Shang's defeat of Yu Tianshuang had been intimidating. "Xiaoan, what are you doing?" Qianxunji stared at the ring, confused by Qian Renhan's lack of a plan. Qianrenxue had just offered a warning, and Qianxunji didn't believe Qian Renhan was unfamiliar with the clear sky hammer and the chaotic cloak hammering technique. Chaotic cloak hammering technique, 6x6, 36 hammers. After completing his build-up, Tang Hu leaped, swinging the Haotian hammer, completely shrouded in thick black light. Qianxunji, Agudi, and Snake Spear stood ready to intervene at any moment, but was Qian Renhan really that foolish? The moment Tang Hu's leg muscles tensed, the 8-winged fallen angel behind Qian Renhan snapped open and he flew up, evading Tang Hu's attack range. Chapter 27 The number one among the younger generation. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The clear sky hammer slammed into the ring, making the whole platform shudder. The impact left a visible dent with cracked spiderwebbing outwards, while the chaos cloak hammer technique packs a punch by stacking power for explosive strikes. It's not without its flaws. The main one is immobility, but that's not a huge deal. An opponent who gets close can still be hammered, though with reduced force. Another weakness is the need for a stable stance. An unstable base makes it easy to hurt yourself when compounding energy. If Sword Douluo were to target the base with his sword energy, the hammering would be instantly disrupted. Finally, once the energy is stacked, the hammer has to be swung immediately. Holding it too long causes the built-up power to backfire. Swinging the hammer also stretches the leg muscles, giving Qian Renhan an opening to evade. Why else would he maintain a 3-meter distance? If Tang Hu jumped to attack, Qian Renhan could just use his fallen angel spirit's flight ability to dodge. The 8-winged fallen angel spirit grants better flight capabilities than the 6-winged version. While it might not outpace the speediest members of the agility-based clans, it's close. Is Tang Hu's explosive muscle power really going to give him a significant edge in speed over his spirit's flight? Doubtful. The Douluo continent is a world where soul masters and spirits clash. Qian Renhan's training with Guangling Douluo honed his reaction time, eyesight, sword speed, and agility. It wasn't just for show. Could Tang Hu really jump as fast as Guangling Douluo's arrows fly? Are you just gonna hide in the sky, too scared to face me? Tang Hu roared, frustration building. The chaos cloak hammer technique was draining him. The force of the clear sky hammer impacting the ground sent vibrations through him, exacerbating the strain. Qian Renhan coolly replied, I didn't interrupt your energy buildup, so why can't I evade? Otherwise, what's the point of having wings? Tang Hu sneered. Ha! So, you are afraid of my hammer. You want a head-on fight? Fine. I'll indulge you. Qian Renhan stepped forward, black sword in his right hand. His first 1,000-year soul ring flared to life, and dark soul power coalesced in his left hand, forming a pitch-black shield. Second soul skill, Haotian hammer. Tang Hu instantly activated his second soul skill. The age gap between his first soul ring and Qianrenhan's was too great. Even with a higher level, he couldn't get complacent, especially after expending so much energy already. Qianxunji and Qianrenxue frowned. Why was Qianrenhan wasting soul power on a long sword? Why focus his first soul skill in his left hand? His right hand was clearly stronger. Tang Hu swung the hammer in one hand, drawing his right hand back as far as he could before unleashing the Haotian hammer. Just as he braced himself for a soul skill clash, Qianrenhan hurled his long sword forward, then slammed his soul-powered left hand into the sword's hilt, sending it hurtling forward. Everyone was stunned, but only Qianrenhan knew why. Using his first soul skill to launch the sword backwards, Qianrenhan gained speed. Before Tang Hu could complete his hammer swing, Qianrenhan's right hand, crackling with dark soul power, shot out and seized Tang Hu's wrist. How did you? Tang Hu's voice held confusion and a flicker of panic. Why do you think I let you swing that hammer so many times? I've been carefully studying your swing speed. Qianrenhan stated calmly. Dark soul power surged from his hand and into Tang Hu's wrist. He smirked. Still holding on. Keep it up, and your right arm will be useless. Tang Hu's arm trembled violently, an icy soul power invading his body. It felt like his flesh and bones were freezing solid. He tried to fight back with his own soul power, but the moment it touched the dark power, it was consumed. Then I'll smash you into paste. Tang Hu gritted out through the pain, using his free left hand to grip the clear sky hammer and bring it crashing down. The will is there, but you can't change the outcome. Qianrenhan leaped into the air to avoid Tang Hu's left-handed grip on the hammer handle. As the clear sky hammer swung and smashed into the ring, he landed on top of the hammer's head. He conjured a new sword made of soul power and pressed the blade against Tang Hu's neck. Silence fell over the arena. Or rather, everyone was speechless after Qianrenhan's use of his first soul skill. Only after the sword touched Tang Hu's throat did the spectators snap back to reality. The Spirit Hall's eldest son had won, overcoming a 9-level difference and a soul ring gap to defeat the Haotian sect's rising star. My brother is amazing. Qianrenxue shouted, breaking the silence. Yu Longchen and Sword Douluo exchanged serious glances. Such a powerful and observant junior was a threat. From the outside, it looked as if Qianrenhan was struggling with Tang Hu at the start, but the whole fight was in his control. First, he tested the power of the clear sky hammer to be sure he couldn't resist forcefully, then he observed Tang Hu's maximum swing speed during the Chaos Cloak hammer technique. After gathering all of the key battle data, he launched a devastating counterattack, securing his win. Such a gifted descendant of the Angel clan, blessed with a 1,000-year soul ring, posed a far greater threat than Qianrenxue. If he were allowed to grow, he would become even more terrifying. Who's next? Qianrenhan scanned the crowd. Most of the younger generation avoided his gaze, except for a few starry-eyed kids like Qianrenxue and Huo Wu. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect's prodigy had been completely defeated and unharmed, and the Haotian sect's top talent had been crushed, untouched. Who among them could even stand against him? After this fight, Qianrenhan was undoubtedly the number one of the younger generation. Chapter 28 The Way Qianrenhan Loves His Sister. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qianrenhan dismissed his spirit and stepped out of the ring, where Qianrenxue hurried to meet him. Did you understand my fighting style? Qianrenhan's expression remained indifferent. He knew that Qianrenshue's straightforward, head-to-head combat would be a disaster against a clear sky hammer spirit master of equal strength. Her wins depended heavily on the angel spirit's domain, which could warp space and limit the hammer's effectiveness. But against a clear sky hammer spirit master with a domain, she'd be crushed. The Killing God domain, acquired through the Killing City trials, was more than a match for the angel domain. Qianrenxue nodded dutifully. I understand. Identify the opponent's weaknesses, observe their movements, and then react accordingly. Qian Renhan's eyes flashed with disappointment, and he turned away from her. That wasn't the answer he wanted. He wanted her to fully utilize the angel spirit's power. Someone like Tang who should have been nothing. He'd only tested Tang whose hammer speed to show his clueless sister that the angel spirit's wings weren't just for show. The true strength of the angel spirit transcended brute force. God-level spirits were called that for a reason, they should dominate all lesser spirits. Brother. Tears started to well in Qianrenxue's eyes. She wanted to ask what she'd said wrong, but all she got was Qianrenhan's cold back and the order, don't follow me. Think about it, then come talk to me. Brother. 5 years later, Qianrenxue was again brought to tears by Qianrenhan's indifference. But his steps and expression didn't change. He'd never liked how dense she was, possessing immense talent and a superior spirit but failing to use them effectively, making mistake after mistake. Only DouluoDalu's intervention had softened his attitude, but today's events had reversed it. If Qianrenxue remained this dense, Qianrenhan would revert to treating her as he had before she turned 1. His teaching method was to let her learn through experience, using his words to guide, not coddle. Gentle prodding would only hinder her growth and breed dependence. If Qianrenxue stopped caring about him because of this, Qianrenhan wouldn't care either. Fallen angels didn't concern themselves with such feelings, and they certainly didn't need useless relatives. Qianrenxue's tears caused distress to Qianxunji, Agatha, and Snake Spear, who couldn't understand Qianrenhan's sudden change. Their brother-sister bond had been strong just yesterday. Yu Longchen, Ning Fengji, Tang Xiao, and others secretly rejoiced. Qianrenhan's dominance over the younger generation had been frustrating, and this family discord was far preferable to the rise of a super genius. In the world of spirit masters, large and powerful families often collapsed from within. Wu told Wu Shuang, brother, I don't like that Qianrenhan guy. He may be strong and handsome, but he's so cold and mean to his sister. Wu Shuang puffed out his chest. Don't worry, sis. I'll always be good to you and protect you. Yu Longchen asked with a smile, Your Majesty the Pope, it's getting late. Would you care to visit the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect as our guest? No, I have urgent matters to attend to at the Spirit Hall, Qianxunji replied, his expression sour. He, Agatha, and Snake Spear took Qianrenxue and flew back to their hotel. Everyone came all this way. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect has prepared a banquet for you all. After they left, Yu Longchen announced loudly, exchanging glances with Ning Fengji, Sword Douluo, and Tang Xiao. The four headed toward the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, undoubtedly to discuss strategies against the Spirit Hall, Qianrenhan, and Qianrenxue. The others were good, but they paled compared to Qianrenhan. Late that night, Qianrenxue sat alone on the living room sofa, hugging her knees and burying her head. The moonlight illuminated her slender form. Xiaoxue, why aren't you asleep? Qianxunji walked over and ruffled her hair. It would take some time for his group to leave. Qianxunji had already ordered Snake Spear to investigate Xiaoan's current location. They would depart as soon as the investigation was complete. Dad, my brother is ignoring me again, Qianrenxue cried, her eyes turning red. Qianxunji sighed, took out a handkerchief, and wiped her tears. Xiaoxue, Xiaoan must have a reason. Think carefully. Everything was fine yesterday. What changed today? Although Qianxunji didn't spend much time with Qianrenhan, he understood his son's nature. He was naturally distant. He'd been close to the 6 great enshrines before he was 1 year old. He started sword training at age 1. His relationship with Douluo and Qianrenxue had gradually improved. As for him, he remained the same, only colder after being slapped. his title changing from father to old man. Xiaoxue doesn't know. I honestly don't know what I did wrong, Qianrenxue said, shaking her head in confusion. If you really can't figure it out, just ask Xiaoan. As your brother, he'll definitely tell you. Maybe. Qianxunji added that last part to himself. Inside his room, Qianrenhan sat cross-legged, absorbing the power of the two immortal herbs within him. 3 knocks sounded on the door before it was pushed open. Have you figured it out? Qianrenhan asked calmly, without opening his eyes. Brother, can you tell Xiaoxue what I did wrong? I'm too dense and don't know what to do, Qianrenxue said tearfully, clinging tightly to his waist, burying her face in his stomach. Qianrenhan opened his eyes, looked down at the fragile Qianrenxue, and sighed. Xiaoxue, since you're not yet an adult, I'll explain this once. If you still don't understand, don't bother me anymore. Your tears won't change anything. Okay. Xiaoxue will listen carefully. Qianrenxue nodded quickly. Chapter 29 Angel Blood Eyes. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qianrenhan said seriously, Xiaoxue, the angel spirit isn't considered the most powerful on the continent because it's unbeatable in a straight-up fight. It's because its attributes are balanced and incredibly strong. Think about your fight with Yu Tianyuan today, and my battle with Tang Hu. You could take Yu Tianyuan head-on, but that doesn't mean you could beat Tang Hu. The sheer destructive force of the Clear Sky Hammer, combined with the explosive power from those Zone clan muscleheads, is too much for even the angel spirit to handle. Even I wouldn't want to go toe-to-toe with that hammer. Qianrenxue countered, but brother, angel spirits can unlock the angel domain after level 30. It can seal space and purify soul power, making it hard to swing the Clear Sky Hammer freely. Plus, a soul master's power wouldn't last more than a few minutes in there, let alone let them fight back. The Seraph setup is truly something special, a complete package, built-in domain, the ability to fly, and a family heirloom angel armor set. The domain can restrict an opponent's movements, leaving them completely exposed, and purify their soul power, all while boosting our own strength within the field. Frankly, just the angel domain alone makes the Seraph invincible in a one-on-one fight at the same level. Qianrenhan didn't argue. Instead, he asked, who defeated Grandpa? Hearing this, Qianrenxue looked down. Haotian Douluo Tang Chen, our ancestor. Qianrenhan pressed, how did Grandpa Golden Crocodile describe their battle? He said Tang Chen had a god of slaughter domain that rivaled the angel domain. He used incredible combat skills and unpredictable attacks to win. Qianrenxue repeated the story word for word. Qianrenhan asked, I never saw that fight, so I can't picture those incredible attacks. But did you see any actual fighting skills from Tang Hu today? Qianrenxue shook her head. No, he was just swinging that Clear Sky Hammer with brute force. No finesse at all. So, he's just a brawler relying on pure strength. Why would we abandon our own strengths to go head-to-head with that? Qianrenhan said firmly, Xiaoxue, the Seraphim isn't as destructive as the Clear Sky Hammer, doesn't hit as hard as the 7-kill sword, isn't as sturdy as the Black Tortoise, isn't as fast as the Swift Feather Swallow, can't heal as well as the 9-Heart Begonia, and can't support as well as the 7-Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda. But compared to those specialized spirits, the Seraphim has qualities they lack, and those qualities are what make it the strongest spirit on the continent, even if the Clear Sky Hammer can beat it. Anyone can get the God of Slaughter domain. Tang Chen and Tang Hao both have it. You might think that Haotian sect disciples without that domain are doomed against the angel domain. But that's the thinking of the weak. The only way to truly improve is to find your own path, like Tang Chen, and unlock the full potential of the angel spirit. Qianrenhan's long speech had made him thirsty, so he reached for his water glass and took a drink. After thinking it over, Qianrenxue spoke up. Brother, your angel spirit doesn't seem to have any healing or support abilities. If I needed you to worry about that, I would have lost today. It's late, go back to your room. Qianrenhan waved her off. Okay, brother. Good night. 2 days later, sunset forest, Qianrenxue sat with her legs crossed, surrounded by a lavender soul ring, roughly 1,200 years old. You too, find me a soul ring that's about 2,500 years old, with evil attributes. From his fight with Yu Tianyuan, Qian Renhan had a rough idea of his physical condition, somewhere between a regular soul master and a soul sect. As you wish, young master. The two elders didn't ask Qianxunji. From the day he gave the fairy grass to Qian Renhan, he had stopped interfering and let him make his own decisions. Soon, a tiger soul beast with blood-red eyes and dark purple, evil attributes was brought to them, severely injured. The blood-eyed bewildering tiger was a top-tier evil soul beast. They say it can manipulate people's minds. Anyone with weak willpower who looks into its eyes might become its slave. He repeated the previous process. He swung his sword, blood spurted out, and a purple soul ring floated from the corpse, much darker than the one Qianrenxue had absorbed. Qian Renhan immediately sat down, released the fallen angel spirit, and began absorbing the ring. He frowned, a hint of pain on his face. After 3 hours, Qian Renhan finally absorbed it, his soul power exploding. He had absorbed 2 fairy grasses and 2,000-year soul rings, pushing his soul power straight to level 30. He and Qianrenxue still felt like there was excess soul power. The age of the ring was lower, so she had already absorbed hers. Qianxunji's eyes flashed with pride. Xiaoxue, Xiaoan, you've both gained soul power too quickly because of the fairy grass. I suggest you don't rush to absorb your 3rd ring. Take some time to stabilize your foundations. I understand, Dad. Qianrenxue replied, and Qian Renhan nodded in agreement. Qianrenxue asked, Brother, what's your 2nd soul skill? Qian Renhan thought for a moment. Angel blood eyes. It's like the blood-eyed bewildering tiger's innate skill. If I look at someone or a soul beast with weaker mental power, I can enslave them. But each time I use it, it consumes 1/3 of my mental power, and the longer I control them, the more power it drains. That's pretty useless. Qian Renhan thought. At high levels, I could control someone without any effort, but I'd rather just cut them down or play with puppets. It's just not my style. What a powerful soul skill, Qianrenxue commented. My 2nd skill is angel wings. It makes my body intangible, 100% immune to physical attacks, and weakens energy attacks by 50%. Group number, 8814577079. Chapter 30 Qianxunji warns you Xiaoan. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Late at night, a bonfire crackled in a small hunting forest. 2 men and a woman, all around 30, sat around it. For soul masters, this age marks a peak in their mental power and overall capabilities. The oldest man was burly with a long, distinctive face, a slightly protruding chin, wide cheekbones, a flat profile, and a hooked nose. His face looked like the sole of a shoe, and he had a cunning air about him, the kind that screamed profiteer. The other man was of average build, neither fat nor thin, and wore a black jumpsuit. He had fair skin and handsome features, with hair long enough to fall into his eyes. He looked like the studious type, absorbed in a book with a pen in hand. The woman was fair-skinned and beautiful, her long hair flowing down her back. She radiated youthful energy, and her figure was undeniably alluring. These 3 were the famous golden triangle of the soul master world, Flanders, Yu Xiaoan, and Lu Erlong. Their cultivation levels differed. Flanders had just reached soul emperor, Lu Erlong was a dragon soul king, and Yu Xiaoan was a great soul master. Flanders kept glancing at Lu Erlong, while she, in turn, watched Yu Xiaoan. Yu Xiaoan avoided her gaze, his feelings for her causing a deep sense of inadequacy. He buried himself in his books, unable to meet her eyes. Xiaoan, another breakthrough in your theories? Lu Erlong asked. As an illegitimate child, raised outside the prestigious Yu family, she felt a kinship with Yu Xiaoan's insecurities. She lacked his theoretical knowledge, making her hesitant around the flashy Flanders. But Yu Xiaoan, with his quiet intelligence, fascinated her. He could identify martial spirits and soul beasts on sight, offering insights that always impressed her. Yu Xiaoan put down his pen and sighed, what good is a breakthrough? No one in the Soul Master world takes me seriously. There's no way to prove anything. Xiaoan, I believe your theories are right and will be validated. You're like a koi in a pond, just waiting for the storm to transform into a dragon. All you need is an opportunity, and the world will recognize your genius. Flanders clapped Yu Xiaoan on the shoulder, adding with a grin, even if your strength isn't top tier yet, you've got us. Our golden iron triangle's martial soul fusion skill, the golden holy dragon, can hold its own against even the strongest contras. Besides, without your help, I never could have gotten such a great sixth soul ring. Lu Erlong chimed in, yeah, Xiaoan, you always have us. We're sworn siblings, one big family. Flanders, Erlong. Yu Xiaoan's eyes welled up with emotion, just as the atmosphere reached its peak of harmony, a gust of wind swept in from behind Yu Xiaoan, causing the bonfire to flicker wildly. Who's there? Flanders and Lu Erlong jumped to their feet, positioning themselves protectively in front of Yu Xiaoan and scanning the woods. Yu Xiaoan, haven't seen you in years, and you're still as soft. A fierce, imposing voice, laced with a hint of menace, cut through the air. A tall, golden-haired man with striking good looks stepped into the firelight. At the sight of him, Yu Xiaoan visibly trembled. Who are you? Flanders demanded, his expression serious. He couldn't gauge the man's power, but his tone and familiarity with Yu Xiaoan suggested he was a soul master whose strength far surpassed his own. Yu Xiaoan asked in a shaky voice, Your Holiness, the Pope, why are you here? Hearing His Holiness, the Pope, Flanders stared at the blond man in disbelief. The legendary Pope himself stood before them. With a swift motion, Qianxunji reached out and grabbed Yu Xiaoan, lifting him like a helpless chicken. Qianxunji said coldly, You know very well why I'm here. When you left Spirit Hall, you swore you'd never reveal those secrets. I see I was foolish to trust such a scoundrel. Your Holiness, what are you doing? What has Xiaoan done to offend you? Flanders pleaded, hesitant to attack. Lu Erlong, however, didn't hold back. 5 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 1 black, flared into existence around her feet. A fire dragon, wreathed in blue-purple flames, surged toward Qianxunji. Even if you're the Pope, you can't hurt Xiaoan like this. Qianxunji raised his left hand, and his powerful soul power formed a barrier that deflected Lu Erlong's attack. He flicked his wrist, sending Lu Erlong flying backward into a tree, where she crashed with enough force to splinter the trunk. Blood trickled from her mouth. Erlong. X2. Yu Xiaoan and Flanders shouted in unison. Qianxunji frowned slightly. Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit with fire attributes. Could this be a mutated form of the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex? Martial soul mutations, also known as martial soul parallel mutations, are like Qian Renhan's 8-winged fallen angel. They don't alter the martial soul's basic structure or significantly impact its quality, but they change its elemental properties and appearance. This explained why Qianxunji recognized Lu Erlong's martial spirit as the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex, and also why Lu Erlong was still alive. No matter how even-tempered Qianxunji might be, he was still the Pope of Spirit Hall, equal in stature to the emperors of the 2 great empires. For a mere soul king to attack him was an act of blatant defiance. Then Yu Xiaoan's voice brought Qianxunji back to the present. He saw in Yu Xiaoan's eyes the love and concern for Lu Erlong, along with anger and resentment directed at him. A wry smile touched his lips. Did Yu Xiaoan fail to recognize the mutated Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit and fall for this woman named Erlong? Qianxunji knew that Yu Xiaoan had long been expelled from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. Given Lu Erlong's age and cultivation level, she would be considered a genius in the clan, one they wouldn't let go. The only plausible explanation for her traveling with Yu Xiaoan was that Lu Erlong was the illegitimate daughter of a direct disciple of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan.